Hi, I'm Ray Grijalba, and this is The Joy of the Faith. Typically, I make a video once a week, but with the recent death of Chester Bennington, I thought it would be an appropriate time to make one. Linkin Park was my favorite band growing up. Numb was the first song I ever actually memorized. Shadow of the Day in the End. These songs are so memorable growing up, as I'm sure you Linkin Park fans know. And I wanted to make a video highlighting the wisdom that he had. And for all you out there that are considering taking the path that he did, I highly encourage you to watch this whole video and know that your life is so valuable. So we're going to hop into this February 2017 interview right now.
I know that for me, when I'm inside myself, when I'm in my own head, it gets this place right here, this skull between my ears. That is a bad neighborhood. There's another Chester in there that's like wants to take me down, and so and I find that it could be whether it's substances or whether it's behavior or whether it's like depressive stuff or whatever it is. Like if I'm not like actively like getting out of myself and being with other people, like being a dad, being a husband, being a bandmate, like being a friend, helping someone out. Like if I'm out of myself, I'm great. If I'm inside all the time, I'm horrible. I'm a mess.
Man, did he hit it on the head there. He said, when I'm out of myself, I'm great. But when I'm in myself all the time, I'm horrible. I'm a mess. And how true is that? You know, that doing, that love, being charitable, being a good spouse, being a good parent, being a good sibling, being a good friend. That's what makes a difference. Life is about relationships. I made a video on that, which you'll see above. But that is the core of everything. If we value our relationships, it's going to be a great life. But if we're all about ourselves, we're going to have a miserable life.
But it's the moment where it's like realizing like I drive myself nuts. Like actually thinking that like all these are real problems. Like all the stuff that's going on in here is actually just, I'm doing this to myself. And regardless of whatever that thing is. And so this is that like conscious awareness of that thing. And like when you can step back and look at something, like you're actually elevating yourself consciously. Like you're enlightened at that point, right, to a certain degree. And so this is that moment of enlightenment where you go, you know, I could do something about this, and by doing it, I can move forward and get unstuck from this, and I could actually be able to, for me, it's like I can live with life on life's terms. Like I can experience the whole spectrum of humanity and not want to get out of it, whether it's happiness, sadness, or whatever.
This is my favorite part of the interview, because he really looked at the core. I mean, all these things that we have going on in our head, all the things we think are problems, aren't really. We're doing them to ourselves. And when we take that second to step outside of it, like he says, we elevate ourselves. We're enlightened to a certain degree, as he says. And we see, wow, I can really do things. I can make a difference. And all of us have that ability. We can all make a difference. We can really, like he says, when we do this, when we step out, we can experience humanity in its essence, whether it's pain or suffering or happiness, and move forward.
I don't know if anybody out there can relate, but like I have a hard time with life sometimes. Right. Sometimes it's great, but a lot of times for me it's really hard. And no matter how I'm feeling, like I always find myself like struggling with certain patterns of behavior. I find myself like stuck in like the same thing that keeps repeating over and over again. And I'm just like, how am I in this? And it's that moment where you're in it, and then you kind of separate yourself from that situation, and you look at it and you see it for what it is. And you're able to then do something about it. Like you've now broken out of that circle, that cycle.
So we see in that clip how Chester's just sharing with us how hard life can be. And they get stuck in things, you know, that sin that keeps coming over and over again. And it's just so beautiful, you know, in the Catholic faith, having the ability to go to confession. I mean, in other videos that I saw of Chester, he's speaking with his therapist. He's like, I just can't deal with this anymore. I just don't want to feel any pain anymore. And it's amazing to have the ability to hear that you're forgiven, you know, and really move on, move forward, like Chester said.
I think for a lot of people, I think like if you're successful, like all of a sudden, like you get like a green, like you get like some card in the mail that says like you're gonna be totally satisfied and happy for the rest of your life. It doesn't happen like that. Like life for me happens the way it always. The only difference is I'm in Linkin Park. Like what goes on inside my head, it's always been this way for me. So when I'm not working on that, like my life gets messy.
Man, did he speak truth there. I mean, we all think that celebrities have great lives and everything's all together. But like you said, they don't get a green card and everything's okay. I mean, happiness doesn't come from success. Happiness comes from knowing that we are daughters or sons in God through baptism. And that's how we're able to move forward. We don't get our value from how the world sees us. We get our value from how God sees us. So we're going to watch this last clip, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Life is always throwing these like curveballs at you, whether they're good or bad. Like it just happens. And eventually what I found is, especially with the bad stuff, because that's the stuff that I kind of that's the stuff that sticks to me a little bit more, coming out at the other side and being like, man, I'm a better person because of that. Or I'm more compassionate because of that. Or, I can understand, I feel like I understand people or humanity a little bit differently because I've been through some pretty crazy stuff. And that's a positive. So finding the positive in all these things, that's what we always try to do, but we still talk about the feelings we had going through all these different circumstances.
Wow, Chester summed that up so well. I mean, life is tough. There are difficulties. But what's important is that through those struggles, you can say that I'm a better man or woman because of it. More compassionate, more understanding, as he said, more loving. I mean, look at all the obstacles that athletes go up against to be the best. And that's what we're called to be. We're called to be the best version of ourselves. And we can do it. You can do it through the grace that the sacraments of the Catholic Church offer. Because life is so valuable, and we need to be that light. So I want to wrap up with a verse from his song, One More Light. It goes, if they say, who cares if one more light goes out in a sky of 1,000,000 stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares if someone's time's run out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do. And I do too, because life is so valuable. Your life is so valuable. And it's so short. I mean, a moment is all we are. Life is a blink. So let's share it while we can. My favorite Bible verse is John 1:5. And my sister Mary Jean actually made this for me. It goes, the light shine in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And in this time of darkness, the light of Christ brings such joy and peace and hope. So we need to share that with others. I mean, let's look at the way that Chester died. He hanged himself in loneliness. How sad is that? My challenge for you is to love those nearest to you. If you know someone that's struggling, talk to them. Be a brother or sister. Share your time and love with others, and that'll make all the difference. Because that's really all we have. All we can give is our love. And God is that source of love. So keep praying, and pray especially for the soul of Chester Bennington, that his soul may rest in peace. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to check out any other videos. And I hope you have a great day. God loves you.